I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. And I am just getting up here. So we can go ahead and the board minutes for October 1st, 2024.
I'll move to accept the board minutes.
Second it.
Is there any public comment? Go ahead, Elena.
Okay, thank you. On the minutes, I don't have them in front of me right now, but the part where I was told not to speak about Big Sky Passenger Rail in one of the discussions, that's absent from the minutes. The reason why I brought up BISPRA was because the county attorney brought it into the conversation and I reacted to it. So I'd like that also added. The reason why I was the one that mentioned BISPRA was only because the county attorney brought it into the conversation. And I don't see the cameras on. Thank you.
The minutes are not verbatim, they're decisions made. I don't think we have to do word for word for word. The agenda item was discussing, it wasn't discussing the rail authority. And so Blaine did make a comment which didn't pertain to the rail or pertain to the agenda item. And you came back with your comment. So being it wasn't pertaining to the agenda item, I don't feel it has to be in the minutes. Go ahead, Elena.
But it is in the minutes that you told me it has nothing to do with the conversation. But Blaine Bradshaw brought it into the conversation when he talked about BISPRA. And I answered back. So that should be in there, his bringing up BISPRA. And you muted me, telling me it's not part of the conversation. Why didn't you tell him it's not part of the conversation? Since he introduced it, I think it should be in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Any other public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried and passed. Okay, so correspondence. Let me try to get up here real quick. Open this Zoom meeting. Just take a second. Billy, I'm trying to get in. Okay, so correspondence. We have this is correspondence from I guess it's just first one's from
That's that work.
Forest
group.
Service?
Yeah, that work group on that logging up naturally trying to, they're just getting it set so you have a 60-day. You can give them their advice on it and stuff. And then next week we'll get the agenda and anybody can come zoom in and just talk to them about certain stuff instead of everything.
Okay, so is this will be on the should be on the agenda, or is it just information.
No, it's just information for us. Next week, they will send another correspondence and we can see if we want to put it on the agenda.
So it's correspondence on
Timber
the
sale.
timber sales, okay, from the Forest Service.
The one they'll never do.
So.
But you don't know that.
they're
That's your,
gonna- they're
that's your
gonna send
opinion.
us an agenda next week.
You just never know. So,
It don't have to be on, cause it'll just, they're gonna send us an agenda and then we can see what's on the agenda, cause right now we don't really know what we, then they want our comments on, couple things, and then we can zoom in when it's on their agenda, otherwise it's a all day thing.
is, Billy, do you have this up?
Yes.
No, I came in, I got it at the end of the
Okay,
day, but I'll
so-
add it.
We will get this up on our website in case anybody wants.
It's on the Forest Service website too, on the USDA, they already have it out.
Yeah.
So if anybody was interested, that they can get on there.
I think it has the maps up there too. There's probably more information.
The next correspondence is from Mako, Montana Association of Counties, and it is anyone interested in serving on a Mako committee to submit a biograph form. And it's on the Mako website. The next correspondence is from Willow Rock Inc. And per request from Great West Engineering to satisfy FERC requirements, we did additional survey monitoring on Georgetown Lake Dam on 9/26, which included setting 3 new control points and revising procedures of survey. And it is his findings and his survey information.
And that's got sent to Bert too.
Yes, that went to, or
Email.
it went to Jeremiah and, yeah, it went to,
Like I said, it did already.
yeah.
The next correspondence is from Granite Justice Court, and it is the end of the period disbursement detail, and the report total is 8,127 for the month of September. Okay, the next is an email from Montana Department of Transportation. And it's. Oops. Sorry. Sorry, guys. It is. That threw me off. MDT requesting information on any bridge construction repair activities under your jurisdiction. So. Did you look at that one?
And Paul Alt was also sent the bridge repair email. He was CC'd on that.
What's that?
Paul Alt was also sent the bridge repair email. He was CC'd on it, so.
So this is the 3 bridges that if are our most important bridges, is that right? So what are you grinning about?
Figure it out.
And that's it for correspondence. Sorry about that. I don't know how to silence my phone. I think I do a minute. It still rings.
Here's an iPhone. Here's an iPhone.
I wouldn't know how to run it. Okay, so. The next agenda item is public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction. Is there any public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction?
$7,000 of right.
Elena,
Oh, go ahead, Elena, sorry.
Thank you. Point of clarification, going back to the correspondence, it's kind of confusing. Some are uploaded to the website, some were emailed yesterday. So the one about the bridges, is that going to be taken care of? And what are the 3 bridges? And the Forest Service? Is that going to be up? That's correspondence to the commission, so that will, I hope, will be uploaded to the website. Am I correct?
So your comment on the 3 bridges, this has been going on for months. The Montana Department of Transportation told us we needed to list 3 bridges. Not that they needed repair, but we needed to list 3 bridges. So we listed 3 bridges. Am I correct in saying this?
Yeah,
Gentlemen?
Well, they need some.
It's not that we're doing anything on those 3 bridges. It's that the Montana Department of Transportation,
Our 3 worst bridges.
yeah, the 3 worst bridges.
cause we're seeing if we're gonna get any of that infrastructure money or not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be for an explanation. I remember there was a list of bridges in Granite County. And I remember I took part of the conversation because one of the bridges is on Black Pine, and it was discussed. So I thought it was narrowed down to 3 bridges. So all I'm asking is what were the 3 bridges it was narrowed down to? That should have been part of the discussion, I would think, previously, like you mentioned.
Old Coin, Middle Fork, and Stony yet.
Do you have the list of the 3 bridges
Yeah,
handy?
Gold Fork, Stony, and Gold Coin.
Did you get that, Elena?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Can I see the document uploaded? Where
No.
he's getting this information from?
I'll have to send it to you, Elena. It's not in that correspondence. They're just asking in that correspondence if we have any planned projects on any bridges within our jurisdiction right now. Our bridge priorities, we were sent in with Great West, the end of the summer. So that's a different document that I can find and send you that outlines those bridge priorities.
So that's a different document than the correspondence that was received.
Well, this correspondence is
different.
on if we're doing any planned projects on any of those bridges right now, and we're not.
So this is different from the previous one.
It's like a follow-up to it.
I'll follow up. Thank you.
Okay, it is 9:20. And the weekly report with road and bridge superintendent Paul Alt. Paul Alt is not going to be with us today. And he called and gave reasons why, and his report is everything's going the same. There isn't anything unusual in maintenance as usual.
No, they got the airport mowed, they're headed for travelers this morning, and they're putting that little bit of gravel in the airport for that Donovan, so they can get that took care of. So,
Gravel at the airport.
yeah, like one already, just that one spot. They're going there. So I'm just make sure to keep it.
They're not done with travelers yet. Supposed to be done last week.
The mowing, they just
Oh,
got,
mowing.
mowing just got started yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Cause they shut the airport down while they mow, so they went, he was there, Donovan showed them, they got that all done, and then I told them make sure and keep tabs on what gravel they get from Mazda's pit, that should come out of the airport, not just the county or the road crew. That could,
So is that the gravel over and above what we've ordered, or? Okay,
yeah, this is just some extra that they asked, cause they're trying to get that other thing done so they can get, remember he had to have that done so they can. What he explained to us, so. And that'll be done here this morning, but they are headed to travelers mowing today, should be mowing starting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Blackfoot will do those ditches. I mean, there's nothing done.
They did them,
No, they haven't. I don't think they're gonna. My own opinion. You know, people don't realize, and I told them this last year when they're working on the thing. The 1st of November out there, where I live, is a big change. I mean, everything freezes up and you get snow and everything goes away.
it seemed to me like they jump around a lot. They're here.
What are you
there,
talking about?
Blackfoot.
Blackfoot, okay.
But we got them on record saying they're gonna fix it, so I guess we need to either check up or something. Call out Jimmy B, see what's going on. Stop there.
So what you're saying is Blackfoot hasn't gone to the ditches that they said that they would clean up?
And they got 3 weeks, you know, a normal year, they have 3 weeks. I mean, cause then it gets all snowed in. I mean, maybe not this year, I don't know, but it just looks like. And right now, it's a whole lot harder to see than it was last spring, because all the grass is grown in now, and you go, you know.
I think they. All that Jay-Z, he said they had to call him, so I just stick on them and keep it going.
I'll give them this week.
I see they got extra crews in doing stuff, but just kind of weird out of them.
Yeah, they do, just.
Water.
She gone?
He should be here. Usually he gets here about now.
Um, 9:35 is our next agenda item, so we have 10 minutes.
Did you guys want to recess or are you gonna stay on or?
Say that again,
Do you guys want to recess or stay on or?
I think we'll stay on.
What pamphlet?
For the government class on. departments.
Like, so we have to pay for them to come, like that one?
No, I know, the one that we did. And he had, his. I just wanna see for the taking minutes and what we put in.
No, cause I wasn't there and no one ever gave me one, I think, to scan in, but let me go to their page. Here it is. Took me a hot second. You're right. Good, no.
Quiet around here.
So,
I like it that way.
thank you for joining us. We've got about 2 minutes before our next agenda item. And during our public comment, or during our board minutes, there was a comment made by Elena that it wasn't said in the minutes how with her and her opinions on the board authority. And she came back and said it should be in the minutes because you made the comment about the railroad authority.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I said board of railroad authority. And I know it's minutes are taken, notes are taken in depth, but minutes are a summary. And it's not what is said, therefore be alert. So, but she just wanted
Yeah.
me to make aware to you that you're the one that brought it up. You're the one that started.
I-
comment with.
I think Billy had it and I took that out just because it was kind of a side issue, really. I mean, yeah, it's up to the commission if you want that in, but it's not critical to that meeting.
So the utmost importance is not what is said. And that didn't even pertain to the agenda item.
Yeah.
It was something, a comment made within each. It's the actions that are taken.
Yeah, the overall impression of it, there's a lot of public comments on an action you're taking, but that was really a side issue, I think. Dicta in legal terms.
Okay. Right, so our next agenda item, it is 9:35 is the damage Kendra's report. Georgetown Lake outflow review and decision. The surface is 6427.88 feet, 19.44 inches below full pool.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Well,
I think we
No,
just stay this week and then next week's the 15th and we'll go back to what we said we was gonna do.
I think that's what we have to do. I mean, I'd like to go down right now, but I don't think we can.
I can
Oh, yeah.
make the motion, we stay at 30 and then go back next week to after we explained and talked about it last week.
No, second.
is there any public comment? Go ahead, Ed. Oh, hold on. Just a second, we can't hear you until you turn the mic on.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to reiterate the recommendations we sent to you last week about going to 6 CFS after irrigation season to try to get the lake above 28.0, since we're about a half a foot below where we were last year. And I think Fish, Wildlife and Parks is in agreement with that. So I don't know if I'll be here next week, so I wanted to jump on today and reiterate our recommendation from the Dam Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you have a comment?
Oh, I don't disagree with that, but I think you need to be looking at inflows, what the actual inflows are at that time, but should get, I guess, yeah, that info next week, hopefully.
Yeah. That's what we explained last week, talked about. Stay here.
Well, I was thinking about going 10, but then, I mean, look at the weather. I mean, it's dry. It's supposed to be dry next week. I mean, I don't know if we're ever gonna get any moisture. I will, but how much and when?
Yeah.
So I'm almost thinking about 6.
Is there any other public comment? Brad, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I would just say, what Ed recommended makes sense to us. It's just obviously we had such a drought year. It'd be nice to start building the pool back up. I think, the last report from DNRC, the estimated inflows were 11 to 15 CFS. So that would be below obviously inflows. So we'd probably have to do a variance, but yeah, I think it'd be nice to start filling the pool as soon as we could with 6 CFS outflows or something like that. So, but yeah, be interesting to see what you guys think and what you want to do.
Go ahead, Blaine.
Yeah, if inflows are 10, going to 6 would be temporary modification, so it sounds like, yeah, Fish and Game would be on board, have to get Fish and Wildlife Service and Forest Service as well on board.
Yeah, right. And I haven't talked to those guys. I imagine they would be, but yeah, we would help you communicate with those guys if you need to. Or we do
Okay.
need to, so we'd help you with that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So if inflows are 11, if we go to 10, we're not gonna gain much. I mean,
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. I agree with Ed and Brad on both points. You can't predict what the weather's gonna do. And we can see what's going on in the East Coast. So you don't know about the weather, but we know about the facts and what's up there at the lake now. Thank you.
So due to the fact that we have to comply with FERC, and so we have to stay at 30. And in order to get it below the inflow, we'd have to get a temporary modification. That you will understand that we could look at trying to get a temporary modification to get it at 6, but that would happen next week, I guess, right?
Right, and we wanna get the Todd lights.
Is there any other public comment? Go ahead, Blaine.
Hey, I mean, I guess you could direct Billy or I to be looking into it and contacting the 3 agencies before next Tuesday, but it's up to you on that.
well, I think you should.
Yeah, next Tuesday is the 15th, so.
But I'd be willing to reach out to them to get their thoughts on
Okay.
it beforehand.
So if we could get beforehand, get their thoughts, if they'd agree to it. And what you guys, how do you feel about it? The
No, I
6th?
think we should,
Okay.
and then we can change it, like then we won't have to wait another week.
Okay, so that's what we'll do then. So, right now, any other public comment? Being none, motion carried. All in favor?
We'll vote.
Aye.
Aye. I keep forgetting aye. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Okay, so
We get that.
get that going.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
talk to them, get their thoughts and be ready on Tuesday then hopefully.
Just a second.
Well, the Titans 0-0 at the half and ended up winning 28-0 and that gale force winds there. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's
The
that
ball was like set down on the ground and rolling.
They had to
Drummond.
stand on it.
Yeah, that was crazy winds. Get the wind up here like that
Right?
Yeah,
Friday. right?
that fire
Oh,
was
yeah.
behind my
When you
house
went-
and I was
Yeah,
like,
blowing up.
I missed it. I missed things. Unfortunately. So. let's
Who
see.
they got this week?
Manhattan Christian at Manhattan. Yeah, they're a good passing team.
Is Ashley joining us for our next agenda item?
yes, I believe she's joining you for the next.
So we've got a couple minutes before our next agenda item.
Oh, yeah, blew 90 miles an hour someplace. Friday.
Well, it knocked some power lines down Lower Rock Creek. They were out of power for 3 days. Yeah.
Knock the hill on fire.
That's all right. I was driving back from Dover.
Oh, I didn't hear about that on another.
And it was out from like 8 that night till 7 that morning.
Your power out?
Not that.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they just hooked the wires together and so everybody got power back. And yesterday they were up there drilling the pole.
You looked at this.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
going,
have a pen.
like, 3/4, sorry, I remember that. And everything just, everything going across, and then I heard it was going 90 miles an hour. Across from it.
Removal of sick leave fund.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the sick leave fund, we did a thing we sent out. Nobody is interested in having it. You can still do direct donations. though.
Morning.
Hi.
I didn't know we needed sports jackets on down here. I can go get mine.
You guys
Sure.
have almost the same print on,
Yeah.
though. Yours is just
Yeah.
finer.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Pretty shirt.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to?
Yours are not organized, but.
That's okay. We have your contract with Bridget first.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. But you don't have a copy. They have copies of.
open up to our next agenda item. Is the Granite County Superintendent of Schools contract with Bridget Perry. Discussion and decision. Ashley, what you want? On this, or-
Ashley Todd, Granite County Treasurer. I don't have anything that I really can add to this. It's been the same for a very long time. There was some discussion of her classification as far as an employee is concerned. Because of the way that this contract reads, to me, it's more of a work agreement outlining what her duties are in
Yeah.
order to fulfill.
Contract employee.
Yeah. So the last time there was any change in pay was 2022, I think, 22 to 23 contract year. So that's definitely something that we probably need to look at every year, and that's why I'd like to leave it as a yearly contract. If we follow like the COLA increase, but apply it to the contract.
Yeah, it should get the COLA increase. That was what the vote was, every employee.
So this year it wasn't budgeted
Okay,
in there, so her pay did not change with the COLA increase.
Wonder if it could be then budgeted for the following year, made up for. Really should be given though.
yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing, is that's in your budget, right?
She has her own budget.
Okay,
She's under. Yeah, has her own budget line.
so she's in the general fund, so
Yeah.
yeah, she should get her COLA.
Okay.
And because it wasn't budgeted, I guess we'll watch that budget, there's another. There, and you can always do a line item transfer at the end of the year as long as she stays within the total budget for that. Particular fund, which is school, superintendent schools,
Mhm.
so. Probably retro from July 1.
Right, when everyone else was in.
You guys agree?
I just put that in your motion then to approve the
Yeah.
contract with the COLA increase retroactive will be given in. July 1 of 2025.
July 1 of 2024.
Well, or it'd be, yeah, grant in that budget, but yeah, grant it back to, you're right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Fiscal year
Yeah.
25, July 1, 20.
Because there's definitely not much room in that. Like has 175 hours that are budgeted for the year. Currently. So it's definitely gonna go over. She almost never touches the reply
Well,
line item.
that's what I'm saying, if she's not over the total budget, which is all line items, then you're okay. But being she's in the general fund.
Yeah.
Then there can be a line item transfer from any other department to balance her budget. So because it wasn't budgeted, we can adjust it.
Okay,
So it'll be fine. And we know it. It's not anything that's deliberate. It was an error not putting the COLA,
Oh.
adding the COLA, which we need to maybe remind. Budget, remind the clerk recorder that.
Yeah.
The,
and it definitely falls on me because when it came budget time, I hadn't even thought about the fact that her contract had not been signed and that it wasn't the same rate, and then it was brought to my attention that she falls into a certain
Right.
employee classification.
and errors can be corrected, so.
Yes,
it's a
so
good thing.
that would be great. I will talk to the clerk and recorder's office about figuring that amount out.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept Bridget Perry on that COLA and everything that's,
Year contract.
When
Their contract with
COLA
COLA
retroactive.
retro from July 1. Okay, and this is
I'll
one.
second it. I'll second it.
Okay. Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And I sign this, right?
Do you want us to get a new contract with the right payment?
As chairman. of that.
Oh, I think that's the airport one. We do need to do that, but on that one, do you want us to get a right hourly pay then with the COLA increase and I can bring it back to you for signature? Cause I think on this one it has that,
It has
so we can get it with the right amount now.
Or she can just write in with
Okay,
fiscal year.
Okay.
24 COLA.
You can just like, I guess you can get your red pen,
25.
oh. Oh, yeah, are you
Yeah.
line through it,
can correct it?
plus COLA,
Yeah,
Okay, that works.
which amounts to
What was it, 4.1?
4.1.
yeah.
Calculator.
Yep,
That was
4.1%.
Go ahead, Elena. Motion was carried and passed and all in favor, but
Aye.
Yeah,
she
you're
has
voting.
comment.
I'm sorry. Thank you for recognizing me. I just had a point of clarification. Isn't the county superintendent of schools cover the county schools, and isn't that an elected position?
I can answer that for you. It is an elected position and it falls under the treasurer's office. She is the county treasurer and she is superintendent of schools, but she has to contract the teaching part of it.
the hall school portion of it because I do not carry an educator's license. Which you have to have. So that's why it has been since I can.
Yes, it's
recall.
been years. We have done this. We've done this easily the last 20 years since our superintendent of schools that was an accredited teacher retired. And that position was moved to the treasurer's office and added to, go ahead, Blaine.
Wasn't it also that Hall, been a small school, they needed a little more help too, yeah, they need more help, so that was the exact reason for the,
Well, they're our only county
yeah,
school.
That doesn't
The others have their own.
yeah,
superintendents.
superintendents, yes.
So,
But I don't,
go ahead, Elena.
I'm sorry, it's, all these years, they were two separate items. And it was the treasurer who had both. And the way it was combined or something, but it's still an elected, the treasurer is elected. And what I'm saying is that it's an elected position. And then I thought it was combined with the treasurer's office. Now it's going to be separate. I
No.
thought you passed a resolution that it's going to be separate from the.
No. You're confused. This has nothing to do with the elected position. This is within her budget that she contracts to have an accredited teacher
Fulfill the duty.
to fulfill the duties
Oh,
for the hall school. That is in her duties as the elected superintendent of schools, which is combined with her office.
It'd be similar to my office. Having a special deputy county attorney to help with certain things, so that person is not the elected official, they're just basically Their contract employee here.
Okay, all right, because I was reading the agreement and that was a little bit confusing. County Superintendent of Schools agreement is made and entered between Granite County and the state of Montana and Bridget Perry of Drummond. So I don't know, that was kind of confusing because it is combined, right?
Yeah.
Treasurer, yeah, so maybe it should say the county superintendent of schools / treasurer
It
agreement.
does say that on the ballot even.
Well, I'm looking at the what's online, and I'm reading it. First page, it says this county superintendent of schools agreement. The agreement is made and entered into between Granite County, state of Montana.
Right, we
So-
get, it. We can read.
Oh, well, it doesn't say combination.
Yeah. So,
that's
yeah,
what I'm
I think,
saying.
Blaine, you wanted,
Thank
So,
you.
this contract is done by OPI, so I mean their attorneys have looked at it. I don't think it's. I
I
don't
think
think
we've
it's-
already made the motion and everybody eyed it.
so, any other public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Would you go in and just have her do the calculations, the 30 an hour plus full, and we'll put it right in there and then we'll sign it.
Yeah.
Okay. That we can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so,
Bridget doesn't know that this conversation was happening today, so I will let her know to not sign over the chance.
Be happy she's getting COLA.
She will be. She did not have any expectations of it, so she will definitely be happy. Maybe we'll be able to keep her a couple more years.
I think she does a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah. She stays
Yeah,
pretty on top of
she's
it.
a good person, good, yeah, she knows what she does, good teacher.
okay, so the next agenda item, I guess we can move into the Granite County School budgets, review and approval.
I guess I don't have much for you. This portion of things is a little bit confusing to me only because the schools set their own budgets. And so it does, for the Office of Public Instruction, does require commissioners review and sign off.
Yeah, it's statutory.
Yeah, statutory.
Yeah.
This is their budget. If
Mhm.
anybody would like to review it, they are in my office. Did you get copies of the budget signing sheets? I don't remember it. Billy took copies of.
I think just as a formality, because of the fact that we have to adopt all budgets.
Okay, well, school budgets, yeah, that, never want to just rubber stamp stuff, but for the most part, yeah, they're handling their own thing, so unless there's something you're seeing, I think that's egregious in it.
Yeah, it's like, it does say the MCA code 20-9-131, Board of Trustees adopts the final budget.
Okay,
Um,
so
a
as,
lot about levies. too.
but the Board of Trustees adopted this budget, correct?
Mhm.
But there's oversight through this, yeah, it's just a check.
It's just.
A check, yeah,
Okay.
government check.
So it isn't
Checks and
anything that we have to look into because it's already been adopted by the Board of Trustees.
Yeah.
As a formality, they need the signature of the,
Mhm. And there was no large changes. The only change really was Phillipsburg's tech levy, which was voted on.
Plus they didn't get the secure rural funds either. We did.
Did you have a chance to review them at all? Did you kind of look them over a little bit?
Yeah, I had to review them before I could submit it to.
And on your opinion, you feel that the Granite County can go ahead and approve without the commissioners in expertise to review the budgets and approve it
Yes.
on, can we just approve it on the treasurer's
Yes,
review?
yes, yeah,
Does there have to be a motion?
yeah, I do a motion to approve it. Yeah, I think that's what the statute talks about.
I'll do a motion that we approve the school budgets.
For fiscal year 25, 20,
25 it should be,
Yeah.
they say fiscal, right?
Yeah, they say that's one.
Is there a second? Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Things none, all in favor? Aye. I want to make sure that that's out there because we. Okay. Very good. Now, is there something, does the chairperson have to sign that?
And
wear out your arm.
Luckily, there's only 3 schools, right? So this is for Drummond. Of the high school. This is the elementary.
And what's day, 9,
8.
8?
All elementary.
Morning.
Pretty. Welcome. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
That's
Don't say that too loud. Yes, 52.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Don't look a day over 40.
Oh, thanks. All right. Thanks for lying.
All right, good women.
No, yeah.
All my kids remembered, so that's a good thing.
So how old are you?
52.
What'd your kids do for you?
Just wish me a happy birthday. Oh, God.
And I'll make copies of these for. Wait,
Thank you.
should be able to put. Where need be.
I appreciate you.
So, how's this going?
There.
We can do that,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So I guess all we need to do is
Maybe
tell.
put an equal sign there.
Thank you, sir. So all we have to do is inform payroll that on our next pay
Adjust.
period, we'd adjust to retro per COLA from July 1.
it should have been done anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's, yeah. Yeah, and to try to remember next year that the COLA needs to
Budgeted.
be added to our contracted person with the,
Yeah.
so,
Good incentive for keep or helping keep.
It is,
Um,
it is, because she definitely
This stuff happens.
doesn't have expectations of ever. Really, she never asks for much, she really doesn't, so. She has.
Good to work with. That's good.
Yeah.
mhm.
You have lots of paper.
Yeah.
I have so much.
Killing trees.
Hey, I'm reducing some paper. I think that this report used to be like 5 or 6 pages.
Helping the loggers.
Right? It's a rough industry right now.
Yeah.
Gotta keep my husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's your contract.
Can get a copy of that from her too.
Yeah.
The contract,
Yeah.
yes, most
So
definitely.
what's
Me
gonna
too.
happen is. I think you kind of look at it and then what's in the supplies and you might squeak through. If you don't, it just,
I think I'll be able to squeak.
yeah, if you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, we'll make it adjust.
All right, so that takes care of. The school budget review.
You want to, I'll type in.
Superintendent, schools. County superintendent of schools, whom is the treasurer, contract with Bridget Perry. And the next on the agenda is monthly cash reports with our county treasurer, Ashley Todd. Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Ashley.
All right, so. My first time doing the county cash reports. After speaking with our auditor a little bit, just about the history of doing the cash reports with the commissioners. There's gonna be a little tweaking. So. I don't feel like looking at these cash reports is very easy for most people, because I would like to be able to have these cash reports put up on our website with the minutes every month, or, you know, if I do
Yes.
these every couple of months.
Yes.
And I don't feel like our public would be able to look at this and understand it. So we are transitioning into using a different program to help with the cash balancing. And so the reports will be a little more refined and easier to read for everyone. With that being said, I tried to use the former treasurer's way of doing things, and came out pretty well. We're gonna start with February, because I don't believe we gave a cash report for February. I think our last one was January. Yes, prior to. Right when I was appointed, I think. So, looking at this, we had. The same amount in our CDs, our STIP protested taxes, we're at 22,307.71. We have, our memorial and our airport funds that, you know, gain interest, quarterly. So we're looking at, for the memorial, 40,549.74, and our airport's at 68,460.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
This up in the cell 8 December 21, this is kind of confusing me.
Yes, yeah, they all have that.
I was thinking, is this December?
And it's still all, it has to go.
So is there,
Right here, it's
where's-
not February.
oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're right.
Yes, I remember it always, Vicky, it was always stuck on there for some reason, that was always been.
I think it's just stuck on the master.
That's, yeah.
It'll look a lot different.
Okay, I'm gonna delete that cell.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
I always got nervous deleting things out of the.
as treasurer, you have a better spreadsheet, go for it.
Yes,
Just-
I've been working with another treasurer to try, and she also uses the same program, so hopefully we'll get on a little bit easier to read here. Our STIP funds were at 9,199,642.77. Our treasury bill 169,257.35. The difference between the books versus our Black Mountain cash reports was a little bit of a larger difference. I didn't like to see that, was 492,000. That difference could definitely be because of that last cell. If you look at the bottom there, it says deposits in transit. There could be that difference because of tax payment that was hanging out that just didn't get put in. Because there's lots of different ways for those tax payments to come through.
That happens a lot,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. And so I have found a few differences in that exact scenario. So trying to get that translated into the cash report was kind of difficult. I and I think that that may be the case on this as well. So, and then you'll find with the February statement, the February STIP totals. So this is our investments, the interest gained on those and where each fund sits. Sitting pretty good as of February.
Wonder if most counties have that much in STIP, or is that a lot more than what?
I think a lot of counties don't have anything.
Yeah, so that's a big one, big deal.
That's one thing that I can honestly say in all my years of being here, that Granite County's been very frugal
Yes.
and has stayed within their budgets and tried to save money. But anyways,
Yeah, and honestly, there are a lot of counties that are not anywhere near where Granite County is, as
Yeah.
far as having any money in reserve.
being
lot of-
solvent.
Yeah.
A lot of them robbed their 911 funds
Yeah.
and now paying the price. It's, yeah, it just doesn't help you to kick the can down the road.
Moving on to March, you're gonna see that our CDs stayed the same. Our state protested taxes gained, from up to 22,408.98. The memorial also gained, 40,563.86. Our airport fund, 68,484.89. STIP also increased, 9,241,408.07. Treasury bill, it gained, stayed pretty close though, 169,722.99. This was a better gap, I feel. The cash report to the Black Mountain cash report, there was a definitely. There was a difference. And I think that was just my calculations.
Something right here.
Yeah, I think it was my calculation. I had to change some of these cells. So March, I will revisit with you because that's not correct.
There's something that we're adding in there that's not right too, because we've never ever been like that. Where there's a difference of 10 million.
It's, yeah, and what it's saying is that I'm 10 million over in our checking account. Which is.
It'd be nice.
You're a really good treasurer.
I mean, usually it's around that 1,600, 800 in there that were differences, so always sometimes 400.
It's been a little bit more, and I do think that that could have something to do with our STIP funds.
Cause are you adding them into it? You are.
Yeah,
And before, I don't think they were added in.
Total investments, not saying
That
total.
was normal. Never added.
yeah, it's the, Blaine caught it. He's good, Blaine's good. It was the difference of the investments, total investments.
Were put in twice or was it, okay,
Get me.
total investments were put in twice.
Sorry.
Total investments were put in.
You got me laughing.
Behaves.
I didn't know he was funny.
You know.
So you'll see that I added our investments. So that'll be adjusted, to not have our investments in there twice, because that's where you're over the 10. So if you look down underneath, on the left-hand side, the NSF, the petty cash. It says total investments, and then if you follow that line over to the adjusted amount, it does include our total investments twice.
So you see that error in, or what, not an error, I can't really say that, in March, and then you go into April and it's, you're balancing out within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All adjusting of
Yeah,
spreadsheets.
Yeah, maybe get some May.
I don't know if you should just, like you said, you're trying to get your own spreadsheet or your own worksheet.
Yeah, trying
Yeah.
to transition,
Yeah.
I just would really like this to be something that anyone can look at and understand.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's pretty important. And, you know, talking with our auditor, he would just like to see those margins a little bit closer, which we're definitely working on with this new software to be able to balance out. And I think our books for next year are gonna look a lot closer for that very reason.
Yeah.
So then, yes, going into April. April. Our CDs stayed the same, our protested STIP funds reduced in that. You'll see a reduction in that anytime there's a settlement. So we pay out of that STIP, so anytime a protested tax gets settled. Memorial, it stayed the same, airport stayed the same, and that'll happen if they don't send in any interest reports for those months. STIP, we had another increase in our investment there, 9,684,444. Our treasury bill went down a little bit, also to be expected, it will fluctuate. And we have a difference between books to Black Mountain Software of 459,435.07. Again, you'll see that the deposit in transit column does not have any funds in there. That was an adjustment that's not included in here. So that 459,000 is, I'm reporting as we have an overage in our checking versus Black Mountain, so. Saying we have more money than was accounted for in the Black Mountain software. And then you'll see the, again, STIP balances for April. For each fund. And then into May. The May CD interest didn't change. The STIP protested taxes increased. 22,610.33. Your memorial stayed the same, your airport stayed the same. STIP funds did increase to 9,724,485.26. Treasury bill also increased. The increase there went up to 170,944.22. Difference between books to software was 1,381.03. And that could be anything from treasurer's checks, disbursements, to deposits in transit. And that's what I have for you thus far. Again, it's a work in progress. This is something I think all, for my understanding, I put this out there to the NCTA, just the treasurer's group. Everyone does something different. Almost nobody ever balances to zero. I would like to see us closer to that zero balance. And so working with my treasurer's group, hopefully I'll have this fine tuned, and I would like to do a recap of every month. Since I started, and actually, I wouldn't mind if it was for the calendar year. Just to do a recap of the new way that the cash reports would look.
So it's part being calendar year or fiscal year.
I was thinking calendar. Just because of the bank statements, but I could do fiscal year, but that would just put us starting into this fiscal year. And that's why I was thinking since when I started. It's kind of what I was thinking, February, March. But that's something that, we can look at again.
You're talking just coming to the commission to do a recap?
Yeah, just a recap, and that way, also I could ask Billy when after I've done those recaps. That those reports could be uploaded for, the public to see, so that it was more public friendly. At that point, and if I feel like if it's on the agenda as a recap, then it would just make a little more sense to have it with those minutes. Just a thought, but also something to be discussed. And I didn't want to bring you, 6 months of reports, so we stopped at May.
We can too, if you have different reports on your page of the website, we can set up stuff with Eric to like post things that you want the public to be able to see, and I can update that monthly with you
That might be a good idea.
when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be a good idea, so that they can just go to the treasurer's tab. And then be able to select the Black Mountain report too, the Black Mountain cash report, I think would be a good thing to have on there for them to access. They can always come into my office and request that, but it's also just making it a little more accessible too. And then have the cash reports too from the treasurer's office.
We can work on that.
Any questions?
Granite County Hospital District, they're doing all right, sounds like, or
They are doing all right. I actually had a meeting with Ryan. He invited Teresa and I up there last week. Just to sit down with him and kind of go over a little bit of the history between the county and the hospital. And we had a pretty frank discussion about spending. And I now have a better understanding of how their funds actually come in when it comes to their reimbursement claims. And it definitely helped me understand things a little bit better for them, because I was definitely not understanding why they were sitting the way they were, as far as our books were concerned.
so in the past, they've sometimes gone over budget and
You have to
And,
register warrants.
yeah, so then yeah, it's registering warrants, not because the county is basically being their bank and
Mhm.
not allowed by statute, but I think in those times when the correction was they get a line of credit and have to use that. So that hopefully they don't get to that point again, but
Good.
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Good talk. So what you're saying is you would rather not have to come in here and give us a report for 6 months, which
I would like it to be every other month, honestly, that way it's never too far behind. That would be my preference, is every other month. The other thing that we talked to the auditor about is that he would like the clerk and reporters as a check and balance to look over these reports every month. We did decide that would put a lot of pressure on both offices to get it monthly, so we talked about quarterly. That quarterly might make it a little bit easier, but it would be between the two offices to decide which would be a little easier.
old school, we used to balance every month.
No, not the balancing. The balancing would be done every month, but the review of the balancing. Yeah. More of the review, not the actual balancing itself.
And that's where we worked together, because if there was. The treasurer would come over and say, okay, there's something wrong here, and we could find it, because it would be. And like when we were talking with Dawn, your balance sheet is your most important tool. And I don't know if it's getting read like it should be getting read and balanced out. But like I said, when I was telling you, we used to do it manually. We didn't,
software.
was double checking, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, you're doing a fantastic job. I commend you for jumping in there.
Thank you.
And doing what you're doing. Your concept is amazing to me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yep, good job.
Okay,
Oh. Public comments.
go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. I just point of clarification. So the monthly reports from February, those are going to be put up on the treasurer's page. And in the future, the monthly reports from now on are also going to be on the treasurer's page and the clerk and recorders.
Elena, Ashley here. That is my goal is to have the monthly reports on the treasurer's page. I would like to say going forward, but I'm still transitioning into this new software. So, it's not, I would not say that it's gonna be next month's. But
Can't
yeah,
you would you hand it to the commissioners, which you read off of? Can't you just scan those in and, because they are monthly reports?
These will go up on the commissioner's page with the meeting documents today.
Okay, so for the rest of the time, it will be, if there's a discussion, it be a monthly report, right? And it
Yes.
should be up on the
Yes.
treasurer's page.
you could expect to see, Elena, once I get this dialed in a little better, that my treasurer's page on the website will have the monthly report. And then anytime I report to the commissioners, that will also be included in the minutes, in the upload for the minutes. So there'll be two places essentially that you'll be able to access the cash reports.
Yeah, well, just for the record, that's the way it should have been all along.
And now we're working.
And when you mentioned something about if anybody wants to look at it, they can go to your office.
Mhm.
You're very busy, Ashley. I know I went in there for other things and I couldn't get it done. So that's all the reason this is public information and it really should be up online. And it should have always been up online, not just part of the minutes, because the minutes get lost also somewhere.
Yes, Elena, and we're definitely working on making this more accessible to our taxpayers. You're right, the information should be accessible and we're working towards that. We're making small steps and I think that it's getting better and better.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, Ashley
Thank,
came.
thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. This is all public information and the county, there's so many documents that are lost. We don't know where they are. So thank you for making these changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Okay, thank you. Next agenda item, we're running a little late, is monthly claims.
Thanks.
You do a good job.
Thank
you, guys.
Thanks, Ashley. Review and approval. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, anyone you want to look at?
Blaine, We talked the other day when I was up there, don't know where's. On, yeah, people that work on the boiler, is that a new contract with them, or is that just what we follow through here?
Oh, we have an existing contract with Johnson Controls, but
Yeah.
that goes through.
Oh,
7/19 or 24 service agreement.
Yeah,
it's
so-
all For this next whole year.
it's an auto renewal
Yeah.
contract for the next, I think you're in it 3 more years. It's either 3 more years or 5 more years, I can't remember. We looked
So
at that though.
the yearly payment probably is what you're talking about, and our contract runs through.
I can't remember, you got a couple more years on
Yeah,
it though,
couple
but
more
it's an
years.
auto renewal
That's what
contract.
I thought, I just was kind of checking because we're having, trying to get them over here, and I've got trouble.
Once it's
I
up
think
though,
they
that,
get used to where you get a contract for so many years and it's just.
Yeah,
That's my.
yeah, well, like with the issues with like the thermostats and stuff, I don't know if that would be covered under that, but I think, yeah, they're probably need to put something in the thermostat issue.
yeah, and I think once that contract is over, kind of like TCS was talking about the company that's done all the work within. With them, they know the system inside out now, it might be worth kind of putting. some-
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe that is it.
What number is it? Don't look at it.
28/62. This out, and I was just curious from how long. I know there's some
Extra
stuff
money
she was
was
trying to get money.
budgeted for the grant for the code of that, sure.
We didn't do it. We didn't have to do. We didn't have any match this year. So we just did it all. There was no match. We did write in rent because we've always
Yeah.
written in rent,
Yes, we got money for you,
so we got money for it.
yeah.
But I don't know how that works. That's over my head. But it would be nice too, since we can get money from the grant to benefit our sheriff's office, or is
Yeah.
that not a thing we can do? I don't know,
No, I think it needs to be-
it's over my head. But since we've let us use the space and use it as in-kind match, it's nice if we can use it for 2 years to
Yeah.
benefit our sheriff's office operation. Still over my head though, I don't know how that works.
You and one of your young reps.
Eat them up. My sister-in-law gave them to me. You guys have Board of Health meeting next week. Just a fun, friendly reminder.
Have what?
Board of Health.
Next week.
Already?
Mhm.
Ooh, like that.
It did. Your last one was in July.
So Wayne, on this, update for. Larson and Morrison versus Bradshaw and Granite County, is this something that we would go off?
Yeah, I can give like a general update on and then we can go off to talk.
We
That
did
good?
last time.
Yeah. Just so that, yeah, the public knows it's been worked on and it's, yeah, good news. See, when's that coming right up?
Yeah. You get my way.
Awful.
He wins.
I got one on Saturday. I couldn't see all day and it's just been lingering.
No. They're already put what's in it for me. Where you wanna find that? fracture and crack ribs. And. So.
You guys motion or? You guys motion or anything? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Right
have
now,
a few minutes yet. We're still looking at claims.
Perfect.
You want big water?
No. In my own zone. How's your fire doing?
So DNRC was in my driveway on Sunday assessing structures, but they don't think it's gonna make it that far. It hasn't been that smoky though. Friday when it was windy, it kind of was a little unnerving because it was really smoky and really windy, but it's just there. Sometimes smoky, sometimes not. How's yours?
If,
Fun.
go on. Let me say smoke for several days.
That's good.
Yeah, they dumped a lot of water on it. I don't know if they're brewing it.
So that's good. That's very good. My brother made a comment when he was just talking to the DNRC, because we have so many water rights on Rock Creek. He's like, if it comes this way, he's like, I just want you to know, drain in the creek and turn it all the water right now, like, just gonna drain the creek. And channel everything, so it comes over. No more creek.
So Georgetown was commission.
Looks good, he did a good job,
I like him so much.
good guy.
Such a good guy.
What's that?
Sent back,
Jared,
damn tender, good guy. Lucky.
yeah, he really cares.
Did he submit his claim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$300 and some dollars.
Yeah, like 360
Pretty reasonable.
bucks. Yeah.
would have cost more to have our county crew do it than that. Like I would got it on all eyes, and we got 2 days in.
No, he did an excellent job.
Is he gonna paint it straight?
I think so. He said he could, but I don't think he's done that yet. No,
I don't think so.
I think, I think when we get the signs back from Leslie. I think you might want to have that done all at once, because I think the vegetation needs cleaned out along where that blue stripe needs to be painted. And the buoy string will need to be tightened and those signs will need to go up. So I think all that could probably be done in one fell swoop.
Did they think they'd be done and signs this week?
Ask Jackie, because Jackie and I followed up on it. Can't remember if it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, but Leslie wasn't there.
Yes. If she's too busy, we just need to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
before we get this done.
I think
before
she's
it's too
already
late.
started.
I mean, she needs to work. I don't know that, but I just can't get behind.
Yeah,
Have to with this order somewhere else.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion with that, the companies.
Any public comment? Things none, all in favor? Aye, motion carried and passed. Our next agenda item is Larson and Morrison versus Bradshaw and Grant County. Blaine, if you want to give us an update, and then should we
open or close?
discuss it?
Yeah, I'd say open for short discussion summary and then close it for litigation strategy
Okay.
purposes. They wait for Scott to come back.
Okay.
Okay.
So. And going by. Go for it, Blaine.
All right, so as you know, Mr. Larson and Morrison brought litigation against myself in Granite County. This was done in federal court. And so there was well, we have Mako Defense. So I have Maureen Lennon working on the case, who's doing an excellent job. She filed a motion to dismiss that I have absolute immunity on all, on all of that. Basically that you as a county commission don't have anything to do with my prosecution. I don't update your cases generally. I'm a state prosecutor. I'm not a county. As prosecutor, I'm working for the state of Montana. And so basically the U.S. magistrate did a findings and recommendations and saying that recommended to the federal district court that all the claims against myself should be dismissed, but there's one outstanding one against the county. And so that will proceed forward. I think we should close for litigation strategy, and but if the public has questions, I'm willing to, if you want me to, I can answer questions.
Okay, before we close for litigation strategy, is there any questions from the public concerning this? Okay, being none, we'll close for litigation strategy on the Larson and Morrison versus Granite County, right?
Yeah, well, the federal judge hasn't ruled, but likely will follow what the U.S. magistrate
Okay.
recommend.
Okay. Okay, next agenda item, we're running a little bit behind. Riddick Field Hangar lease agreements. Discussion and decision.
So this is Donovan Jones's, you might,
Did he talk
Be able
to
to-
Foley and get something right? Cause I didn't want.
Do you know
that
more?
was the whole deal. We don't-
I know
do not tell everything was on the.
Yeah, because Michael Foley does have the current lease on it. This was all contingent upon a letter being received from Michael Foley saying that he wanted to, be allowed to be rescinded from the lease. I think you could And we do have language in there that Michael Foley can house his plane there till it's sold in the hangar. I would say do your motion contingent upon receiving that letter from Michael Foley that he wants out from the lease. But you could still sign it today and we hold it until we have that letter.
I'll make that motion to go ahead with the lease agreement for number one hangar. Contingent on receiving a letter from Mike Foley rescinding his.
We do have to change the back page.
You're the chair for.
Being the chair.
Oh, sorry about that.
Should I do that in red?
Yeah.
On my little red pin.
Yeah.
I second it.
Okay, any public comment? Things none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries and passed. Okay,
I'll just hold on to the lease until the letter from Michael Foley.
Yeah.
the next agenda item is OAC meeting, courthouse elevator and ADA project. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I wonder where everybody is.
Sure, Dave Kaufman's here, there, Dave, but you're looking for Scott.
Hi.
What?
That and Ryan downstairs.
Oh,
Okay.
there it is.
How's it going, everybody?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
Come on up here.
Morning today.
Right there.
Oh, Rich, how are you today? Good, you made it, huh? Yeah.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? Good.
I put all the change orders on their agenda today too with the meeting. So.
There are a lot of change orders.
Hello. Yeah.
Who starts? State your name and start.
I'm Ryan Covington with TCS Northwest. Superintendent on the project here, we'll go over what we've accomplished, what our goal is for this month. We are. Got about 90% of all the tile done in the judge's bathroom, the men's bathroom, and the third floor bathroom up there. The parts that aren't done, just what I had him leave off till I get the doors in to set the doors, and then he'll pile up and get everything trimmed off real nice. It's all been grouted, sealed. The plumber's finished getting the trim out. He's finishing up his few little things today up on the third floor bathroom. So he's got the toilets, the sinks, everything working in these bathrooms on this floor or on the second floor. And the third floor, there's just not gonna be no hot water until we get the ladies' bathroom done, 'cause that's where the hot water heaters go on and the recirc pump and all that fun stuff.
They can use the bathroom and that up there, just cold water.
Yeah, yep.
That's what they have now anyway.
Yeah,
Ladies bathroom there right now, that's how I have this.
that's what I guess, because they're having that court thing, I just. they
Yeah.
have to carry $100 on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I got the door moved yesterday from the ladies' bathroom over to the men's bathroom. That will be up and ready for the jury next week. I put a temporary door on the judge's bathroom this morning. It swings the wrong way, so don't. Yeah, so that way that one will work, but yeah, hit your forehead on when you open it, but it's all right, I'll wake you up, right? Alright. So yeah, the plumbers are getting finished up down here, up there. Tile layers are pretty good. They did finish up this week getting a lot of the broilers hooked up that we installed. So they're kind of all ready to rock and roll. Believe the thermostat guy's gonna be back the first of the next week, start getting the thermostats ran for all those. Gonna verify a few locations with Scott on the thermostat locations today. And then that should, part of the broilers up there, should all start working again in that room. Cool. They're scattered throughout everywhere. So we got all the doors coming in, those are all ordered, and about sure when they'll be here, all the new doors, everything. The elevator's being built, they're still waiting on a exact delivery date for that. They're kind of trying to play around with the weather and their install cut crew on exact date when that will arrive here. But hopefully we'll have a date on that fairly soon. So yeah, so get these tied up for you guys to use for the jury next week. So that will leave those two bathrooms. Do you want me to leave that, the ladies' bathroom, like existing operating for that? Or can we shut it down if we have the other two operating?
Well, if you have two working, well, one will be in the judge's room, though, right?
It'll be the judge's bathroom and then the men's bathroom.
I
And so,
have to try to leave the ones, so you, I don't know how the judge is about sharing.
He would share, I think.
I guess, yeah. I guess.
I can ask him if you want.
I mean, it's not really that big deal. Plumbers were just wanting to start the demolition that all out in there, but I told them I'd have to.
Hate to have them slow down.
Yeah,
I don't know, this weather is crap coming. Couldn't get good.
Okay.
I just doing it.
People
Okay,
can
well,
watch
we'll
it.
just kind of work forward from there and I'll try just to save that as far as out as we can. Comes out, it comes out.
So what are you saying? Ask the judge if he will share.
Yeah, I think you should just plan to have him get working on demolition in the other bathroom. That's my thought, cause
Otherwise, it's gonna throw us 2 weeks.
the bathrooms downstairs, people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad.
They have to
Yeah.
walk down.
Yeah.
Good exercise.
If they only had an elevator to go down.
Yeah, that's why we're listening.
Yeah,
Good point.
they can try my scaffolding out to my
Yeah,
bathroom. Okay, so yeah, that's good, that's good. Then, yeah, so we'll work on that, get this tidied up, I'm gonna go upstairs and finish getting the drywall done up there, getting that third room painted. The third floor, hopefully get a lot of that tidied up there. Did I explain to you guys last month that I gotta leave the elevator entryways all open until the elevator's actually installed? So at the door face of every one of those, I have to leave completely open until the actual elevator's installed. And then we'll come back and put the metal frame up for the doors and drywall and that last little bit of stuff. So on each corridor coming out, there's conduit running up in the walls, which is for the fire alarm systems and power for the fire alarm. So I'm gonna leave that bay, from that bay all the way to the north face of the building opened until the elevator's installed. We might be able to wrap some of the ceiling, just the header part, but other than that, I have to leave the rest of it all open until the very end, basically. They'll get the elevator operating and then even the flooring will stay out that far. That way, if measurements are off a little bit and there's a little variation between the platform of the elevator and the landing of our existing floors, we can address that then, build the floors up or whatever we have to do so we have a perfect transition. So we're definitely recommended just to leave, 2 feet of that out so we could get that transition to work. So there will always be that until the elevator's finished. Yeah, we'll get that upstairs done, and we'll do in this, move right into this 3rd floor bathroom. And then from there, it'll just be the elevator, mechanical room pit that we'll be working on.
Okay, so back up
this-
just for 1 second. Just the elevator, you need it open, but you're gonna make sure no one can fall in it.
Yeah. So that will all be open, the floor will be open, and then I'll probably take like 4x8 sheets and build a 4-foot, just a little wall there. They have to have doors to swing open for the elevator guys. So I'll get something probably pretty solid there until they get here, and then we'll make it to where it's kind of easy for them to open that.
Just for people in Zoom that don't understand that we're not gonna have open spaces where somebody can fall in. Right?
You're right, correct.
I think no picking on me.
Gotta clarify that.
No repelling allowed.
And then this month, we're gonna try to get the ADA concrete driveway and everything done out here. Before it starts getting snow and cold, to get blankets involved. So we'll be tearing all that out probably by the end of the month. Start getting concrete poured in there, retaining walls. And all the fun stuff that's gonna go with that.
What was decided? Is that one spot or is it one spot? Yeah. Yeah.
Spot.
So we'll get that going. Like I said, we're gonna get that 3rd floor going, or finished up. And then move into the ladies' bathroom here. And then we'll move right into the basement. It's be 90% just to deal with the elevator people. So it will be all taped off, fire rated. Larry will have his equipment in there. And it'll be just kind of a matter of waiting for the elevator company to finish doing their stuff. The elevator company will run out of the mechanical room into the elevator pit. That's part of their deal. So they'll run all the hydraulic drawing, their own power, all that stuff out of the mechanical room into the pit. The one thing I do have to check on, I can make a note. Is we do the fire alarm and the elevator system. We gotta have a designated phone line to go to that.
Would that come off of the 911 thing over here?
Nope. It's completely separate. The call can go to a 911 center from the elevator. Or it can come to somebody in the office or wherever, or Otis has a call center that it could go to Otis, that they have a warranty thing. I think they'll cover for like 2 years going into their facility and then dispatch out if there's whatever the issue is inside the mechanic or in the elevator itself. Somebody called picked up the emergency phone in there. So that's up to you guys, kind of where you want that to go, to your 911 center or to.
That would just be a regular phone line in the elevator.
Well, it goes to the mechanical room, a normal one into that. And then it will go from there into the elevator, and then that's all it will do is talk back and forth from the elevator to the mechanical room, which will just go direct. Somebody picks that up, call 911 or call Scott midnight.
Right.
But you have to have a separate phone.
We have to have a designated phone line for that, and one thing I'm trying to get clarified right now is the designated phone line for the fire alarm system also. I don't know if they're gonna let us interlink those two together. So we might have to get 2 designated lines in here. Hopefully they'll let us do it all on one, but I know it's not sounding like that.
Okay, so the phone line has to go to the mechanical room.
Yeah.
By mechanical room, you mean the janitor's office?
Nope, in the elevator, where the elevator pit is, the elevator room.
Well, if no one's around, how can you answer it?
Well, that's why it goes to the 911 center.
I see, okay.
So if somebody calls that, it will go to whoever you guys want it to go to.
Okay.
Whether it's your local 911 or.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And that we deal with Blackfoot, or,
Black,
yeah.
yeah, Blackfoot. You get 1 or 2 lines.
I guess
And then the
that's-
fire alarm system's the same way, it's gotta have its own designated, that's what I'm trying to find out if we can use the same line for both of those, cause. Basically, they're gonna operate together in this
You want us
facility.
to get a hold of Blackfoot, is that? what
Once
you're
we get
saying?
Get the, see how they want it, then yeah, I'll have to have you guys call in. Or I can call a ticket in, those probably have to have somebody call and verify that it's okay that. I have phone in your account.
got it.
And they're gonna be running there's a mini split of heater and air conditioner that will be in the mechanical room for the elevator. They're gonna be running the condenser unit they set out front last week. They'll be running all the lines for that, by the 1st of November. So we got the jury trial and then I'm just trying to keep everybody happy down there, so I kind of have them designated Tuesdays and Thursdays for core drilling in the basement. So it's looking like it'll be the first part of November before they come get that line set through all that. Which we really don't need the air conditioner right now. So.
Only needed like 20 days out of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think that's about it. All right, you guys got any questions for me?
Actually, these change orders, what are they here? Then you start looking at.
Yeah, I have 3 of them there.
So do we have any more discussion from anyone else? Scott, did you have anything to add?
Good morning. No, I have nothing else to add unless you have questions.
And who are you?
I'm Dave Coffin, roof consultant.
Ah, sorry, I didn't recognize you.
That's okay.
So we're all good on these change orders?
Yeah, so they met the approval. I visited with also the design team where that affects us as well. Yes, they are all good to go. And they're unforeseen. I mean, it's just, that's the.
Who unforeseen?
Back in 1915, when they buried everything.
Yeah.
We found it. So, yeah.
Okay, so that was the next agenda item that you brought up. The change orders. So I guess if you're done with.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions for me. Sorry.
We can move on to the next agenda item, which are what, 3 change orders? And were you explaining that change order to Scott? Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, just in going through those 3 change orders, just some of the over time as construction has commenced. The things we've run into or discovered or had to adjust.
So there was just discussion on the project, and so we need discussion and decision on the project change orders, which there are, what, 3?
3 to 5.
5?
Oh, 3.
5.
3.
3.
3.
Well, I just went, they got their numbers are 3, 4, and 5. If we could just make one motion for the change orders.
Okay, so what we have. Order 3, first floor wall heater. Order 4, reroute exhaust fans. Order 5, fire door wiring. Is that it? So there's 3.
I'll move to approve change orders 3, 4, and 5.
I second it.
Is there a motion to accept the potential you did just now?
You did.
Okay, you seconded it. Any public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Okay. So is this signed by?
I'm doing them right now for you. They're all DocuSign.
Okay.
Makes it easy.
Done deal, okay. Moving right
Simmons is
along,
there.
so as long as we're a few minutes before our next agenda, item, but as long as we're all here. It is the county courthouse roof drawings by Slate Architecture, discussion and decision. Go for it, Scott.
Okay, thank you. So just in conversation the point and I had long ago about the roof problems that are precede our time here. I asked Dave Kaufman here to visit with Blaine about options. Dave's a roof guru. We worked on difficult roofs. We always call Dave and have him help us with just some, thoughts. And he always starts with the forensics report, which I don't know if you've seen a copy of that yet that he's put together. But it's probably been about 3 weeks ago, Dave, maybe even before Dave was in our office, and we just kind of sat down because I wasn't aware of the roof issues to that extent. And so Dave just kind of sat down with us and went through the report, and there's a lot there, more than what he would typically see. And so he asked, our involvement. We have drawings. We have a good roof knowledge of everything, and so we just said, yes, we can help you with that. And so our goal and the proposal that I did forward is really just based on us taking a lot of the details that Dave would give us or provide to us, and then we just put them down on paper, help them through the bid process. I left the hourly or the construction administration as an hourly contract, just because I don't know what we're gonna get into. I think Dave will take care of most of the roofing side of things, but if there's deck problems, if there's plumbing issues or anything like that, that would kind of fall on us to help out with. And so just trying to get a comprehensive team put together, although we didn't include any engineers, we're trying to keep them out of it, and we'll try to handle everything that comes up. On anything again unforeseen that we built once we unbury it.
I think we're gonna find some stuff after we end up the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unforeseen, yeah, or foreseen, but
Right.
can't see under there right now.
Yeah, yeah, jump in there.
So after that forensic report, I get very detailed and I go down deeper than what the roof is telling me. I drop into the drains, how things are draining, the parapets, where things can possibly be leaking from other than the membrane. So the complexities on this roof being as old it is and all the different things that's been done to it that aren't quite the right way. I want to change it for the best. So having the proper team that can put that all together is very important. It's not about how much we spend, it's how much we're saving.
Yeah.
We're really good at like stopping a lot of change orders, just based off how we put this stuff together. And then when you get an actual bid, it's pretty valid. Just like your elevator thing, there's gonna be things that are gonna be unforeseen.
Yeah.
You don't know how that deck is. It's had another, 2 other roofs on it for a long time. We don't want to do this again, like every 10 years. This roof should last you way into 20 years plus. But we gotta put it together right, use manufactured metal membrane and get it all under one scope, then it's gonna perform. So that's why I want Scott's team involved, is so I can deal with the roofing, integrate the plumbing, they can watch that, they can watch the structural. Any decking that's going bad, we can get that stuff changed over. If you don't have proper drawings before bid, you're gonna get not apples for apples.
Yeah.
This way, everybody sees it, they know what they got to bid for, and then they can't give you a change order down the road. So we're here to save the money and get it proper right off the bat. So that's kind of why we want to team up.
Yeah.
As far as what visits are doing what, they're gonna have to do some visits. I'm gonna have to do some visits to make sure it's going the way we want it to go. But there might be more visits on top of that. So I would set it to where, yeah, each visit costs this much. If we're having an issue, we come take care of it. It's taken care of, we move on.
Yes,
Well, I think that's the whole deal, is that we need somebody to oversee everything that's done, like some crap. Then, you don't get back here for it, like you said, couple of years, 5 years, or back to square one.
Yeah, and the complexities with this, you gotta have oversight with a couple different, the architect and the consultant. Because there's a couple different things in there that need to be put in certain people's wheelhouse. It can't be just on mine. It's gotta be theirs. They draw it, they take care of this, I take care of that. So that's kind of how it needs to be done.
I agree, if you're measuring with professional on that, I mean, this, you gotta be something, you know.
Yeah, just, looking up at the dome, all that things that's going on, it's all those things that happen, it'd be nice to get that stopped at the source, and then we have to go back and repair the dome.
Yes, we had that beautifully painted and it lasted what, maybe 2 weeks before it was cracking and leaking, painting of the dome.
Oh, yeah, interior dome,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
catastrophe. It just was, it was like 2 weeks and it
You
was,
did such a great job
it was a
there.
beautiful job, the painting of the interior of the.
Then, every little roof system, there's 6 different roof systems up there. They all have their own little issue. Like the old windows and things like that, all correlates into the roof system. You think it's a window, it doesn't have anything to do with it, but it does.
Yeah,
So things like that to be changed, making sure the historical preservation is there.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Scott's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with it. Once it's bid, we go for it. We don't have to come backwards.
So
great.
does
Lynn.
your proposed estimate need some tweaking, or is it good as is, or we talked about having like a per visit cost? I guess that's already in there, no?
Yeah, and so when I had put that together, what I did was, started at, basically, instead of the 5 phases, I just started the second phase, design development. Which is, we started drawing, we just didn't wait, so Seth and I got to work on it, because we had a lot of backgrounds. And we wanted to be fresh after we had met with Dave. So we already started on that, and then, so we'd be design development, and then the construction documents, creating the documents to go out to bid. And then through bidding, and then what I did is I did an estimate for construction administration, but just call it hourly. Just to give a budget number, we tried to do that, and so. We can set it up however you'd like to do. Or we could do the whole thing just hourly too. I mean, it's whatever you think. I quizzed Seth this morning. I didn't look at all of our time, but we think we're at about $1,500 right now. And we've got a pretty good set of drawings. Total, so.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, it's not, sounds good thing. It's like, we better do it.
Well, no, yeah, I'm saying what it's.
I know because that's why we're in such a mess with that roof now, correct? Is because
Yeah,
we've had people come in and just put little
Yeah.
Band-Aids here and there and drill holes and make
Right.
another wound and put another Band-Aid.
Yep.
So this right now would give us a brand new roof.
Yep.
Or
good one.
Yeah, from the structure up, and so
Yeah.
that's what's gonna be really nice, is we'll replace whatever we need to on the structure. Get the plumbing right, and then start, and go forward again, so.
If some of them drains aren't even working.
Right. Yeah, it's not correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the main thing, get the drainage right up there.
there is a proposed estimate there, that we can, I don't know that it's.
I
Printed.
think yeah, they actually have
Yeah,
in their packet,
okay.
it's the 19,220, is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that, again, that last chunk, that last section was meant to be kind of an hourly budget. Not knowing
Okay.
to what extent you would want our involvement, knowing that Dave is
So-
also on the.
Pick and choose as needed there.
Right.
Yeah,
So that would, I guess I would call that a max.
okay.
Yeah.
So
This would be a maximum. The last section is particularly as needed, the county would call upon them.
okay, so this is okay.
Yeah.
So was there something that you were wanting to maybe change in this plan?
No, I think as he has it proposed is.
Okay.
Good.
So it's your motion.
I'll make the one doing the look at it, but
Just because the way things are so.
Yeah. I've done. Okay with this.
the rough drawing by Slate Architecture.
Sorry. Or with them.
If you get a.
Yeah.
I always put a, eventually based on what I think.
Is there any public comment?
At the decking.
Yeah.
Get 10 or 15.
Is there any public comment?
We could do that. Not really prior to bidding.
Being none, all in favor?
Okay.
Motion carried and passed. Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get rolling on it.
Great,
Dave has one more comment.
Okay.
there.
So as old as this building is, not knowing if the decking is still good and stuff, when we put this whole scope of work together, we should have a contingency amount based off of the bid amount to cover things, so we're not coming back and saying, hey, we need 40,000 for plywood. Things like that, so it gets you a little closer to your number, because things are gonna be found that need to be rectified. So I always like to do that in my bidding, is say I need a 15% contingency or a 10% contingency. Then we have that number, when something comes up, we're just automatically taking it out of that number. If it's anything over and above that, you have to agree on that.
does that sound good to you, Blake?
That's
Yep.
needed, I think, because we're
There's
gonna
some
have
that's
to.
8 inches thick and we don't know what.
Yeah.
Some it's so extra, we can work that plywood. It's gonna be plus.
Yeah, so everything we see now, we're gonna set it up to where our bids are gonna take care of it. But anything that's unforeseen, we have that pot of money to go after.
All right, we will work with you on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think what we do is just an allowance in our spec sections, just have an allowance.
Yeah.
And we get
Okay.
a whole bunch of allowances. For OSB.
Okay, is that gonna be another motion then, or
No, I think that's,
it's
yeah.
included with,
Things are the drum.
okay,
Yep, that'll be in the specification.
Yeah, I just wanted it for clarification, like why that amount's gonna be there.
That'll be on your agenda again.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, I didn't know your name.
All right.
It was the hat.
You'll remember
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Did you have any
Yeah.
questions on the windows up there?
Is that DocuSign too? That will just later.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Scott and I will
Sign that one?
Digging into
Yeah, I
some
don't think that one's documents. I don't have a spot for
She
signature.
said all I had to do was, it was electronically.
I don't think that one, I don't know if that one
I
is.
don't remember if I said it.
I have a
I would
spot
say
for
sign
signature
now.
on that one.
Yeah, I'd sign that one.
I may not have done that. I think it just said it for the reference city authority.
Yeah, there's no signature line on that one.
You could just add it, just say approved and sign and date it.
If you send one over, I can sign it.
I can do that when I get back.
Okay,
Okay.
see
Yeah.
where.
Okay.
All right, see, they can send it to DocuSign.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
One more, number 14.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to not know it for you. Yeah.
Did I just see your fist going like this?
It's been here.
it was all in good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Good things.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good work.
Yes.
You guys, thanks, good job.
Thanks.
Good, how are you?
Oh, he wanted to, Dave's wanted to see you, I think, Scott, too. Did you talk to you? He was wanting to show you something. Yeah,
On the roof.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next agenda item.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
There.
See you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, thank you. Then you have to get my attention.
No, you-
I'll run out there quick and see what.
Have a good one.
Plan on being around for a while.
Oh, okay, all right, sounds good, all right.
Right, kind of before our next agenda item.
Yeah, there's Scott.
He's gonna wait a bit before you're done. Is he gonna wait a bit when you're done and you go up or?
It was the other spot.
The other Scott.
Oh, okay, I thought it was me.
Did
You.
the other two
I think you're the
that's gonna get a copy of this yet?
They're right there. I sent them out with the commissioner meeting documents and I just made extra copies. I have a copy for you. Did you grab a copy? You have a copy.
Yeah.
behind you, but I got more copies. I got copies everywhere.
So the one thing that, we did clarify that, where was it, for the part-time prorated holiday pay is regularly scheduled hours. It's averaged on the number of hours regularly scheduled to work in a pay period. That includes vacation and sick. Correct? Is that your something? Because it's not hours worked.
Yeah, it's scheduled. Yeah,
So if you scheduled a sick or vacation day, it is
Yeah.
regularly scheduled.
Mhm.
yeah.
And what was happening, it was getting on work hours.
Okay.
So. There, I don't know, there's just some animosity. And that's not our intention at all. On this.
Yeah. Sarah coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be, they're both coming in, should come in. So,
Coming in.
Sarah and Becky.
and then the last page on this was, the deputy clerk and recorder has her questions. I gotta figure out where I put it. So there was one question on the part-time employees vacation and sick. Because of the gray area that there is, a part-time person doesn't really have opportunity to use vacation and sick unless they're scheduled. But I said, if a department head signs that time card, then it's not up to the payroll clerk to decide whether or not they can take vacation and sick.
Yeah,
If that vacation and sick is signed, they can.
yeah,
And I know this happened one time with me as a payroll clerk. And I won't mention names. But the supervisor was the spouse of the employee.
should have had the county commission.
I mean,
do
that's
it.
a
Yeah,
couple instances,
Yeah.
but the supervisor signed a time card saying that this person was sick. So that person could use all the sick. And Mako said because of the fact that the supervisor signed it, then the supervisor is
Yeah.
the one that is saying, yes,
yeah,
that person is allowed to use the sick.
So a lot of this is just upgrading the policy book then?
Yes,
Clarifying.
yes,
I just
this
want
is
to clear-
correcting,
Or correcting,
correct. Did you get one of those copies? Okay.
I just wanna make sure I'm on the right. A lot of this I don't understand. I'm getting there, but and I read it now, but I just wanna make sure that.
The problem is that it's been interpreted by an individual instead of coming forward and saying, okay, I don't understand what's going on.
yeah, it's a team.
And as a team, it should be brought to the attention of everyone so that we could all understand it. And say, this is what it means. And what we did actually is we took a canned document coming from Mako and it was supposed to have been read by department heads. And admittedly, I didn't read it like I should have, and admittedly, neither did anyone else. And so this canned stuff got into our personnel manual that is confusing, and then it was being interpreted.
Different ways.
Yeah. It's
So I just wanted-
complex stuff.
Say nothing, I just.
Okay.
My hand. I was waiting for your finish, man.
Your hand is out.
I hate that too.
I know, but it's to get my attention.
Well, who did the changes in here then?
I did.
All the residents, you did?
I did.
I did.
I took the, what is that term?
Striking,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I went into the actual statutes and looked at it and looked at what it was. And looked at, a full-time employee is entitled to a day off. It doesn't say prorated hours in the month holiday pay. It says a full-time person is entitled to a day off with pay on any holiday. And so we put that, anything in red We struck that one because that's the one that was confusing.
In subsection A,
Yes.
I guess the other. Be confusing.
On the first paragraph of page 2, that unless the collective bargaining agreement applies, then that could be just 8 hours, comma, with a small u, and just add that as the end of the sentence.
Hold on.
Unless,
Go ahead.
should it be comma? Yeah, we were just throwing that in
Yeah.
there.
Comma, unless the collective bargaining agreement
Small
applies.
u.
Oh, thank you. Got it.
And then you have optional crossed out on the county may elect to provide additional premium pay.
Which one
Where-
is that?
Oh, right there.
Pay
Did
for
we
work
leave that
performed.
optional there? That was in the handbook, but I think that's because the county could include that bullet point or not.
Yeah, I don't need optional. May already says that. That's
Yeah,
discretion.
that's, okay.
What's a premium pay?
I think you can, I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing, the premium pay is, and this works with the sheriff's office. Only is when they're scheduled to work that day. And they have to work that day, they get paid time and a half. If they're scheduled to work that day, they get paid time and a half. They still have their holiday pay coming. They could take their day off. If they choose to go ahead and work that day, then it's double time and a half. So they're actually still getting the holiday, but they're gonna use it.
So
and
I'm
get
working
the-
on Christmas,
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I think, is that what that is?
Yeah, and that's only time it's done is with the sheriff's office.
What about road crew? Is that we're done with road crew?
They have their.
Collective bargaining agreement.
Oh, okay, yes, sorry, we said that on page 2.
Removal of sick leave fund, that was,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
still have a thing. Sorry.
no one was interested.
What we decided and we talked about it, and the fact was, there was an email put out to all employees if they wanted to create a sick fund. And we put the email and no one responded. They didn't, said, oh, that's nice, but they didn't say, yeah, I want one. So, and we don't really have, we don't have a sick fund, so instead of even having it in there, it was just to clean it up, take it out, because we have the direct donations of sick leave in there already if someone wants to give someone sick. And I guess what Becky said is that she thought there'd be a good idea to have a form. So what would happen if you had someone that was sick and their doctor said they can't be to work, that would probably be an instance. And if they didn't have that sick time, they would ask their supervisor. Their supervisor could then contact payroll, because payroll has the capability of putting it out there and putting it out there in an email to anyone if anybody wants to donate some of their hours for this person. And then another thing that's come up is, say, for example, everyone gave like 160 hours to that person for sick leave and they didn't need it. Would that go back to the person that donated it? And it should.
Yeah,
Can you take them back?
Yeah.
not used and given back.
You'd have to
Yeah,
kind of prorate it a little bit because of the fact.
right, because what we've done, yeah, is that we know how much they had and then you just kind of, I mean. There are some people that were more wanting to give the money, right, the hours, and so it's like the top ones would give out the hours, so instead of donating to the person, we have the list of how many people want to donate. But yeah, if it all went in, then it just goes back to the folks.
And they don't have to, but they want to donate.
Correct. It's not ever a mandatory thing, that's like.
Blaine, are you okay with that first page? Is everybody okay with that first page?
I have a question on that, so I'm just gonna use solid waste as an example. Because they have a different schedule, right? So say that the holiday falls on a Monday, when the dump is not.
They get
normally-
Tuesday off.
Okay. So then would for instance, the dump have to notify that the dump would be closed on
Yes,
Tuesday?
it's usually notified. Any holidays, there's a sign that goes up saying that because they don't work Sunday and Monday,
Mhm.
that Tuesday would be
Their holiday.
closed because it's their holiday.
Would they be able to stay open because it's not really the holiday, have somebody, and then that person would be able to take their holiday, the normal person would, and then the relief person or the part-time person could keep it open that day? Is that
I
a
guess that,
possibility?
that'd be something they'd have to sit down and talk with the union too.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
just a
right.
question
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
the relief, you know, like.
So-
I mean, I don't have a
Right.
problem with
So that
it,
it
then
could
you got the
stay open.
union involved.
Yeah.
Did we ever do that?
I think we have. But
I don't.
Where we just have the relief person
Yes,
work the
I
holiday?
believe so.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, that's how they generally, that's how,
Jody usually,
our dump attendant in Drummond does the same. He just has his part-time cover on the day that he takes whatever day he takes.
Well,
the
officially, they're
holiday.
supposed to be closed the day after.
Hmm.
Officially, they close, am I correct?
By resolution, we'd have to look into that, I don't recall seeing that, but. But it was just, my question was more along the lines of, you know. That, for that person that maybe doesn't have a relief for the following business day, which would be a normal business day. He would have the option to take the Tuesday, according to this, correct? Or schedule a different day with his supervisor. If it fell within the same pay period, or is it okay with supervisor approval to roll it to the next pay period if that was feasible?
So
That's where I think there's like a gray area here.
because their day off falls on a holiday. They're entitled to get their holiday and schedule, and that's under the kind of the floating thing. So a full-time employee who is scheduled for a day off on a day that is observed as a legal holiday, except Sundays, is entitled to receive a day off with pay either on the day preceding the holiday or on another day. That's what it pretty much says. But I think what's been happening is in like what? So the dump in Drummond kind of stays open and has relief work on Tuesday?
I think so.
They have two
Right.
options, right?
Yeah,
Two
right.
relief.
I think so.
So the only, like,
So it, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So
well,
like-
that's what it says.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I
Yep.
guess that'd be up to them to make sure it's set up.
Yeah.
So we have a Monday holiday coming up, right?
Mhm.
So does that mean the dump will be closed on Tuesday?
We have, oh, but he doesn't have, do we have?
We don't have a
relief
relief
worker? We don't
worker.
have a relief worker.
Or what, yeah?
Yeah.
I thought Scott was still really thought there too, you know? Sure.
Mhm.
How'd that look like?
We'll have to put a sign up
Yeah.
and say it's closed.
Well, because I know we.
You find a
closed it
relief
yeah,
worker.
on Tuesday.
Right, and
So,
then
yeah.
like, Christmas Eve
Yeah,
and stuff we've done.
She had the, yeah, she said there's an application. So,
so there's, I mean,
Yeah, when
according
he's
to our handbook, then he would be entitled to have Tuesday off if he chose to. Or worked it with his supervisor, that he worked Tuesday, he would take a different day off within the same pay period, so he would take an additional day off some other time within October.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
it says,
Yeah.
as the option. So
I
it
put
doesn't,
a comma after pay period, same pay period, comma, or as scheduled.
Right, cause sometimes the holiday is like and like we'll over at the sheriff's office and that's all. So sometimes they do take their holiday the next month, but that's
Mhm.
all, you know, it's scheduled in advance.
so
And
in
noted on there.
for that floating
Yeah.
holiday, they would schedule it and they've got up to a year actually
So,
to take it according to the law.
Yeah. Usually it's mud.
But we always said you, within the month, or if you couldn't with following.
Right, because it
And
was
it's
always,
up to the, let the supervisor
right,
decide.
and it just, yeah, it was kind of harder over at the dispatch.
So that's a good question on the dump. How do,
Get the relief person hired, but yeah. might have
if you
to
don't
be
have a relief person,
Might
then
have to be the,
Oh, and as far as the dump goes, it probably should be closed on Tuesday the fifth because the county is closed for
That's
election day, so that day would be, you'd have to put notice on that one.
so that day would be an actual legal
That would be
holiday
an actual legal holiday that,
in November. So they're closed on that.
yeah, that one will be closed.
We actually have 3 holidays in
yeah,
November.
yeah, Veterans
Yeah,
Day
but
and
that one's, yeah. Tuesday, but everybody will be closed on Thursday. People will be used to that. So,
And that in itself doesn't conflict with this. Because we don't have anybody to take. To work for that person, so they would have to close the dump, right?
yeah. If you're gonna give it to them.
And take their holiday. They wouldn't, I guess,
Notice to the public's probably good on the website, and even the newspaper if you can.
for the day after
Mhm.
the October, yeah.
I think it's probably too late to get that one in paper, isn't it?
Website, they can put notices
Yeah.
up there.
okay, so just to be clear with. Holiday leave. An eligible full-time permanent is entitled to a day off. It isn't anything like the vacation and sick that you're gonna prorate it if they didn't have enough hours in the month. A full-time permanent person is entitled to a day off. That's what it says. A part-time person is entitled to prorated holiday based on hours, regularly scheduled hours worked in that month. And I know you guys have been averaging it on an average of 173.33.
But you'd like it done with the monthly pay now.
The one thing we corrected is that part-time thing, they had 10,
Yeah, talking
Yeah.
like it was a 2-week pay period.
so we took 10 out and put the number of working days in a pay period. And holiday benefits shall not exceed 8 hours unless a collective bargaining agreement applies. So the regularly scheduled work hours includes vacation and sick. So the prorated holiday pay is averaged on regularly scheduled work, not actual work hours. The only time you do actual work for your actual work is your time and a half.
Yeah,
You figure-
oh, yeah, right.
So
That kind of smells like fingernail polish removal.
It's because they just used a dry
Say that
erase marker.
Prorated holidays,
That makes-
hours worked, vacation and sick time.
So vacation and sick time are included as regularly scheduled work. Cause your supervisor is signing your time card and you have vacation and sick on there. You have scheduled sick and vacation, so that's regularly scheduled work hours. Does that make sense?
So an employee that works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7-hour days. Would have their equivalent vacation and sick. Are you talking about if they use vacation and sick in one of those days? So
Yeah.
Monday work. Have 5 hours of. Okay, vacation.
Yeah,
Right, so
regardless
they
of
work
whether they're
Monday,
using them
yeah,
or
those
not. they
3
get
days that they have
regular
to,
schedule.
read those 7 hours is sick from that day, and then they came up for vacation. It
Mhm.
would still be the 21 hours,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
So they're
correct.
looking at 20 minutes. Even
I
though they were,
understand.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
See, like overtime, if during that work week, they took days off, they couldn't And it wouldn't average up to the 40 hours because they had vacation sick. And overtime is hours worked,
Mhm.
so that wouldn't be included. In time.
Correct. Only the collective bargaining agreement's different.
Does the collective bargaining agreement say they get it or what?
I think you're talking about the holiday, right?
No, I checked through the vacations
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
the overtime.
right.
Forget the overtime, get that away, she says. Beck, would you have any other questions? So, and then we talked about the time cards, the gray area on vacation and sick. If the department head signs the time card and you've taken sick or vacation, and they're saying that's regularly scheduled hours work. And you allow it because there is kind of that little gray area there, whether or not they're scheduled or not scheduled.
But it's been signed, so.
Because it's
Okay.
hard for a part-time person to take vacation and sick.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost.
Impossible. Right. But once that time card is signed. And it has that in there, it's considered scheduled.
Yes, once your supervisor signs the time card, it's said and done, and the payroll department just helps it. You have a problem with that, Becky?
No, I have scenarios running through my head of other things that people have asked me, but the sheriff's office is a huge. Has a big issue of being able to utilize their vacation time and sick time. And so. I mean, I guess it would just be if Scott decided that they could use. You know, on a day that they weren't scheduled to work, they could take about 8 hours and just get paid an additional 8 hours for that month.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Has he done that?
Because
Or-
no,
Yeah.
he hasn't, but if we're allowing these people who, I mean, let's be honest here, are not scheduled to work that day. But they're using their vacation and sick time on those days. Where is it, where, you know, I have road crew members doing the same, we have the same issue, that they have a hard time being able to get the time off. So they can just, you know, say, I'm gonna just pay me those 10 hours of vacation time because I don't wanna lose them. Or pay me that 90 hours of vacation time because I don't wanna lose it.
I don't
understand
think
what
that
you're
works with a full-time person, Becky. You can't do anything over if you've got a 40-hour work schedule and they want an extra 10 hours in there. Because, yeah,
Right, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that because it's. I just have a hard time paying the part-time people on days that they truly weren't scheduled.
you have a hard time with it?
Well, I think. you're
Wrapping
talking
my
about-
brain around it.
Yeah, I think you're
Well,
talking.
I think that's what we're
dispatchers.
fixing right here.
Right.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Yeah, so mostly with the dispatchers, next we have lots of part-time over there and that they don't, you know, right, that's what you're talking about, yeah. Mostly with the dispatchers, that it's hard, and so like what she was saying, yeah, you know, they're only scheduled for 4 days or.
Okay, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
I'm not being, I don't mean to, it's what the supervisor
Right, and that's
signs.
what
If the
she-
supervisor says, then,
That's what I said.
That's what she was
If
asking.
Scott
As
says,
long as
Yeah,
Scott
yeah, go
said,
ahead and
yeah.
use that additional 10 hours.
that's part-time person, that's
Yeah.
not full-time. You can't give a full-time person
Don't
an
talk
extra
to me
10
that way.
hours. I'm
You don't
not
get
talking
use
to you
that
in
tone.
any
You don't
way,
get to use that tone with me, you can speak to me like a normal person.
I am speaking to you like a
You have
normal
tone,
person.
And you know you do.
That was uncalled for, Becky, totally. Okay, fine, you better do something.
I'll talk to them. but it's
Because-
here.
We're having a discussion. If she feels my voice is like it is right now, I'm trying to explain something. She asked a question, she didn't understand it, I was trying to explain it.
Right, and then and we all found out that we were all on the same page. With the, yeah,
Well,
with
apparently
the
Becky didn't.
supervisor,
Go ahead, Jeff, question.
Nah, shit, no.
We're trying to get this squared away, we're trying to be fair And if she feels we're stepping on toes, I apologize, we're not stepping on toes.
I don't believe she felt anybody was stepping on toes in this matter. I don't believe so. I think it was each viewer was saying the same thing, and it was just getting frustrating. I believe. So let's move on to the next.
I think a point of clarification on what Becky was saying, and that I would need, is I understand part-time employee that works Monday through Wednesday, then wanting to schedule a Friday vacation day. So that would give them an additional 8 hours on top of what would normally be scheduled. I can understand that part. A full-time employee that works Monday through Friday, requesting an additional sick or vacation on
Yes, that's-
Saturday. I do not
Yeah,
understand.
no, and I don't think that's what she was talking about, so I don't. Yeah, I think it was mostly with the dispatchers, the partner.
So a
Yeah.
part-time employee is eligible to do that.
I think that's what.
A
what Mike
full-time
was saying.
employee is not.
Well, because they get the regular 40 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the only time they would take vacation would be within that 40 hours.
40 hours.
and that's covered in your
Yeah.
the language
Okay.
covers it, I
Yeah.
think, okay.
So I guess a little bit of confusion on my part would be the part-time employee status. Means that they work X number of hours, period. 30, right? What is it, 36 or 32, depending on job description,
Right,
right?
they can't work more than.
Yeah, some work less, right?
Yeah.
But if they
they
ask
can't-
for an additional vacation day outside of their work, aren't
They
they
don't
going
get
over
it.
those?
If the supervisor
Signs off on it.
signs it and says, okay, here's the thing, this is the gray area.
Right, I can see where you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's talking about.
This is the gray area, otherwise they'd never be able to, and scheduled work. If it's permanent, part-time, they regularly scheduled hours. Usually you don't get that problem, but if they have the vacation time and they say, hey, I need to take some vacation time, the supervisor could say, you've got this vacation, come and go ahead and put an extra 4 hours down, and I will sign it.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, cause I mean, I have that with my part-time employee that, he's in the lose it status.
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, I make them take it within their scheduled days.
Well, and this is where I know payroll had problem with it because of that the sick is really hard. Because unless you've been called in to do something and you're sick,
Mhm.
and then you can use it, but that's at the supervisor's
Yeah, or
discretion.
get called in and you have a doctor's
Yeah,
appointment.
we
You
don't
can't
know
make it
what the
then.
supervisor said to their employee, it's just on the time card, they're saying, okay, I wanna give this, I'm signing off, giving this person this 4 hour sick.
Okay,
That's because it's the gray area, we're saying that payroll has to look at the time card. If it's signed by the supervisor, then it's not
And
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
to question it.
Right.
Mhm. It's the department head or supervisor. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think that
You got that?
that explains the gray area to me.
Do we wanna work out the language in the direct donations of sick leave now, or,
Okay, so I know Becky wanted to work up a form or something, she did get a form. I think that we have to clarify, absolutely have to clarify that. If the person would have to have had a doctor's slip saying they couldn't work before they could. Or they're out with surgery or leave, which would be a doctor's slip,
letter,
right?
yeah.
Then they're entitled to, if they don't have it, they could ask their supervisor, hey. And then, like you felt that because of the fact you have all the information, or would you rather the supervisor just come in and tell
Well,
you?
I think like what you were talking with Becky about, that she's got the emails, she has the form, and it's just putting out. Blanket thing to everybody, would you care to donate, whatever, that you can only donate up to 40 hours, but. And just putting it out there so that everybody, but have the form that. Something that is the same thing that goes out. It's not anything, cause like, I know when I asked, I needed some time when I had foot surgery and was gonna be out for a month, whatever.
And
I was
person-
asking people, and they would just write down a little note or something.
Supervisor
So that would be
signs
kinda
it?
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And a
that would
person-
be-
Employee and supervisor sign
Yeah.
that they're donating X number of hours, up to 40.
Right, up to 40, yeah, per
So-
year, a person can
Oh,
donate.
per year, thank you.
A person can donate, and so they could, it's like,
Yeah,
I wanna give 5 hours to this person, or, you know, there might be.
So when that request would go out would be when the employee that needs it at the end of the pay period?
It would be where, when they turn in their,
Okay.
well, they have to ask for it, I think, to give a timely amount.
That's what
for
I'm
the
wondering.
person.
Yeah,
yeah.
and then it just kind of sits there, it doesn't automatically go into their thing, you know, so like they get 160 hours. It doesn't go automatically into their thing, taken from that person in there, you have that sheet and you know how much, at the end of the pay period, we know how much they're actually gonna need, and then you can talk to the people, it's like, oh, they didn't really need that much, so then we can. Do it. Kind of that way.
The board would talk about if they don't not use, it's returned.
Be returned to
Oh,
the.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good
so
idea.
it's never really, you know, taken until it's actually needed.
So do you put like a time frame on that then? So it's like within like 60 days or
We
like within
could certainly
90
do.
days, so it's.
Or
I
a
wouldn't put
blank,
that
a
on-
blank.
I
with
mean,
a-
but it
Put that on
Yes.
the form.
Right,
so
but it'd be for
you
specific
know, yeah.
employee for an.
So when the
Yeah.
doctor,
Not just a blanket thing.
the doctor releases them when they go back to work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, early, and they don't need that many
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't
Yeah.
get taken from those folks.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay,
time
so-
frame attached.
We understand the calculation for. Prorated
Mhm.
holiday pay.
Mhm.
Okay. We're just gonna be. The hours in the pay period or the days in the pay period, and we won't average, we'll do.
That's good, nice.
Any other questions? Is this okay? Are we good? I don't know, we're trying to be. Make it as clear as we possibly can. And there was confusion, so we're just trying to clarify. it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. But it isn't our intention to come in and
Right, and like I said, I don't think that's what happened here, I think that it was. Talking about the same thing, and, but. in
no, I mean,
different
in
words.
general, cleaning up the
Yeah.
holiday
Yeah,
process.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
That's good. I mean, like it's Becky had those questions. She had those questions before all of this to get answered and to get
Well, and then-
clarification. So,
In that instance, she
Mhm.
should have brought them to you and you should
Yeah.
have brought them to us. And so you should have said, hey, there's something wrong with this. We need
something's
this."
going on.
Yeah.
We're having issues. I think that it all kind of came up now, and so that's what we're doing now.
Go ahead, Blaine.
My idea is once Billy's replacement's in for 6-8 months or so, we work on a new. Adding all the new personnel manual, including
So
all these.
like in the
changes,
meantime, I think
any
if
other
you get a
change.
chance as department heads, you could probably just go through the personnel
Sections.
manual, anything. That you feel, oh, this is just highlighted or sticky note. And when we do go through it, we'll. Address it, because. Actually, we did have one that we'd worked on and it was shelved and disappeared. And
Yeah, we just sat down and had a.
this canned one went
Several
in
were-
and Billy was brand new and we didn't follow
Threw it out
through,
there.
and so we're all kind of to blame on. And that goes for you too, Linda. So, yeah,
So I have this just on for discussion today, so I can, we can put it on for discussion decision on the changes next week. So if anyone has anything to kind of throw in and add, I can kind of compile it and send it out in the next couple days. That works.
So when there's a change done to the personnel manual, is there a
Form.
signed form that precedes the changed area? That says this was changed on this date?
Yep, people,
Okay.
everyone signed it, and they receive the change.
Okay.
I just been inserting it into the personnel manual.
Yeah, I
Okay,
have a
thank you.
living one somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Chuck, when you're done here today, we need to talk with you about something. So, your athletic. So when you're, before, scoot into our office before you leave, or we'll chase you down. Okay.
Thank you.
We need. Oh, we need the. No.
Oh, Sarah, do you mind signing this?
Emailed them yesterday.
Linda, you wanna come forward on our next agenda item?
Are you ready? So all your policies are good assets.
Since this was discussion, I think.
I
there
was just wondering if there was gonna be.
Oh, yeah. Is there any public comment on our discussion?
That me.
Okay, being none, we'll move on to our next agenda item. Thank you, Ashley.
Oh, and do you want me to go stand it? And do that? I'll go.
So Linda,
Oh,
so good to see you.
so.
Mine's much easier.
Campbell Family Transfer.
Okay, so we have a family transfer in place, as you know. On that family transfer, there's a time limit to hold for parcels to be transferred. So this one was started back, this family transfer was started back before the new rule came into place saying you had to hold the parent parcel for a year as part of a court process. And it just took the court forever to get the whole thing done. So they have finally finished it. And at the time, Blaine and I have been talking to the Campbells and saying, you know, just submit it once your court process is done. And we will honor the fact that it came in kind of late, and we'll ask for a waive on that time hold, because they, as part of the court process, they have to get rid of this to settle for their court stuff. So they're asking for a waive of the time frame. It's 1 year. We're saying 2 years just because that's the maximum time it can be held, so just cover the whole basis. But we're recommending, at least I'm recommending, that you waive the time period.
Yeah, I concur with that. It's a court ordered deal. I encourage the commission to go along with the court.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Campbell family transfer for a 2-year hold on the parcel.
I'll second it.
Is there any public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries and passes.
Yeah.
That was our last agenda item.
Right?
We are adjourned.
Yeah.